Now that we've got all of that technical information down, let's start applying it to a question. But before we even do this question, we have to make sure that we write down all of the information that we know. Remember, this is x minus h. There's that part, there's the k. And you also have to remember, where's the emphasis here? The emphasis on the x is inside this bracket. Everything else outside those brackets is emphasis on the y. So there's your horizontal, there's your vertical, okay? Very important to keep that straight. Okay, here we go. So look at the question. The first question says, given a function, oh, it's a nice little cube function. Yay, all right. Okay, write the equation of the function after the following transformations. Okay, simple, we can do this. First things first, a stretch about the x-axis. Well, wait a second, I can't remember. Across the x-axis, is that vertical or is that horizontal? I don't know. Well, best thing you can do, put down a quick grid, just like that, and go, okay, I'm going across the x-axis. That's the x-axis. So guess what? I'm going a vertical. So this, in fact, this is an a value. That's it. So a value goes up front here. Everything else, that's not applicable because we're not doing the horizontal. We're not moving left or right or up or down. So all of those guys are out of there. So all you're doing is adding an a value to this. Okay, so let's do it. Y equals, you're adding an a value. The a value goes up front of the original function. Done. That's it. That's how easy that is. Oh my goodness. Okay, then let's do this one. Here we go. Let's do a reflection in the y-axis. Again, reflection, I can't remember. All right, so guess what? You put down x, put down y, and then actually draw it out. A reflection in the y-axis goes this way. So guess what? It's horizontal. It's a horizontal reflection in the y-axis. So if it's horizontal, it affects the b value. And all that happens to this b value is it becomes a negative b. Now, did it say that it's going to stretch this at all? No, not at all. It's not stretching nothing. It's just saying reflecting. So let's take our new cubic function, this guy here, and let's just reflect it. Okay, so that means the function stays the same, but remember, inside the x, right? Inside, you're going to be reflected. Oh, perfect. There you go. Done. That's all you got to do. There's your horizontal inside the function. Really, really simple. Let's go to the next part. Check this out. Aha. Now we're going to stretch about the y-axis a factor of 2/3. Uh-oh. Remember, I can't remember how to do this. I have to put down my playtime XY grid. There we go. Stretch about the y-axis. So in other words, I'm going this way. Oh, I'm doing a horizontal. So this must be somehow related to the b value. But don't forget, when you're dealing with a b value, you gotta flip it. All right? So the actual b value of flipping this is 3/2. Interesting. Very interesting. So if we put that together, look how this affects our graph. Y equals 2, there's the cubic function. Remember, this is emphasis on the x. So guess what? There's our b value, which is the reciprocal of this, okay? X. Now, some people will look at this and go, oh, I don't like the way that's written. Can't you just distribute in the cubed? Oh, of course you can. But remember, everything here is cubed. So that means 3/2 is cubed, which means 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. This can be written as 27. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. There's the 3/2 cubed. And don't forget that this is x cubed. If you put this in the calculator and graph it, those two will be exactly the same curve. Nice, hey? Now, last but not least, here we go. This says a translation of 3 units down. Now remember, up and down is our k value. Now you're probably saying to yourself, I can't remember that. I can't. Simple. Just throw it all together. Here we go. Y equals to a f of b. Oops, let's put our bracket here. Oh, gosh, I did that bad. X minus h bracket plus k. There's emphasis on the x. There's your horizontals. There's everything else is going to be vertical. Okay, so here we go. Watch this. That means if I'm going down, I'm actually going vertical, right? Okay, so with that in mind, I'm dealing with this k value. So that means a translation of 3 units down means my k value equals to -3, right? Okay, now what else does this mean? I'm going 8 units left. That's got to be my h value. So my h, I'm going left, which means that's also a negative. But look what happens when I substitute these guys in to these values, right? Don't forget, you have a negative here. So if you think about this, there's no stretch for A, so we can get rid of that. Now, I got a question for you. Does that mean that the A is 0 because there's no stretch in this part of the question? No, absolutely not. Because if you put a 0 in here, your entire function is gone. It's 0. 0 times anything is 0. So no, this is in fact 1. Okay? Same goes with B. If there's no horizontal stretch, it's not that this guy's 0. It's in fact only 1. So be careful on that. All right, so let's put in the 8 units here. So remember, this is now y equals to, there's our original function, cubed, okay? Let's do the horizontals. This is going to be x minus a -8, because it is going left, plus a negative, think about it, it's going 3 down, -3. Let's clean this up because it looks terrible right now. So if we clean this up, this looks y equals to x minus is a +8. There's the cubed, okay? So there's your movement, 8 left, -3, because plus minus gives you the -3. There's your 3 down. Wow, cool or what? Now, what I really want to do here is I want to go now and I want to put all of these numbers together. So hold on, I'm going to erase everything and I'm going to put them all together. Hold on. Now, the best way of doing this is looking at every single thing that we had. Let's go back to A, right? Here's a stretch about the x-axis. Okay, so there's our x-axis. We know it was a vertical, so this is the A value. So we know that the A value equals to 5. All right, reflection about the y-axis. Okay, there's a reflection, so we know it's horizontal. That means that we know that the B value has to be a negative B value. This guy, C, was a stretch about the y-axis. Again, there's the y-axis, there's the stretch, so it's horizontal. So we knew we had to flip this. B becomes 3/2, but don't forget, we had a negative there as well. And then we had a translation of 3 down. So 3 down is our K value. There's -3 and 8 units left, which means that's our H value. That means 8 is negative as well. Okay. Let's throw this all into that original formula, which was this. Y equals A, x minus h. Oops, minus goes the other way. Here we go. X minus h, all cubed, right? There's my function. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Let's try it again. Y equals to A. There's my function. X, whoa, bracket. There's my B. There's my x minus h, bracket, plus k. All you got to do now that you've identified what everything is here, right, by doing this, just out there, just tell me there's your A value, there's your B value, there's your K value, there's your H value. Just throw them into the equation, right? So here we go. Y equals A value is 5. Your function is a cubed function. Your B value is -3/2. Okay, -3/2. Don't forget the brackets. There's your brackets. Move it. You're going 8 left. Well, 8 left. Remember, this becomes a positive when the h is a negative. So this is x plus 8. And then finally, 3 down means -3. There's what your transformed function looks like. Oh, boy, that was an incredible question.